what's up guys? I'm Brandon and I am a touring and session guitar player in Nashville, and today I wanted to talk to you about how to record guitars at home and get professional sounds that you can use on records, and especially in a less than ideal room. And it's honestly probably a lot easier than you think and requires gear that you most likely probably already have. Also, for fair warning, I am going to switch over to my lapel mic so I can carry my camera around with me, so the audio might drop down in quality just a little bit. Alright, so here's the room. Just give you a 360 view of everything. So this is a bonus room above our garage, and it also serves as our room that we hang out and watch movies, but it's also my studio from 9 to 5. So I got amps, pedal boards here at my feet, going into my computer, say MacBook Pro, into Apollo Twin Quad, I guess it's the Twin X Quad interface, and then into Pro Tools. And this is pretty much it. So you can see I really don't have hardly that much treatment in here. That is one of my other projects, is putting treatment in here. Also, if you remember from some of my earlier videos, the red wall right here, so that is, I used to be in that corner in my other videos, and we had a big couch that was here where I'm at, and as I started getting busier, we converted this into my full studio and made it more useful for me. So my acoustic panels and my cloud are over there. That cloud used to be above my desk and I just haven't moved it, so need to do that. But anyway, that is the room, and you can see there is quite a bit of echo in here, but I'm going to talk about why that's not really an issue for me. So basically, signal chain is you go from guitar into my pedal board. Here's my main pedal board that I use, and on my pedal board you got tuner, most important thing on there, into a volume pedal, and from there it goes into the light speed. Actually, I think that's wrong. I think it goes from volume pedal to, I honestly don't remember if it goes to the EQ first. I think the EQ is after the drive. So volume pedal, light speed, nobles, EQ, and then from there it goes over into tremolo pedal, into my HX effects. Pretty simple really, not much to my pedal board other than this is an old EQ that has been modded. It's an old Japanese EQ. But then from the pedal board, go into one of my amps. The ones I have in here now is my Marshall JTM Studio. This is honestly like my favorite amp. I love this amp so much. Then I have a hand-wired deluxe reverb, and then a Princeton. I'm also on the lookout for a original blackface Princeton. Haven't found one yet that's not outrageous in price, and then also would really love to get a matchless. But anyway, right here is a closet, and eventually I want to isolate that and turn that into an ISO cabinet so I can fully record, guitar speakers in there. Haven't gotten there yet. So I am using my aux box. So from one of the amps, it goes into my aux box, and I'm just running a optical out into the Apollo, and then from the Apollo it goes into my computer. And honestly, I can tell you this is probably the most important thing, is get yourself an external monitor too if you can, because if you can look up here, I have this one up here that has all my tracks. This one down here that's got the mix, and then over here is for the Apollo. Also for YouTube, I'm just using a Sennheiser shotgun mic. That is what you're listening through now. And then also for monitors, I actually just have Yamaha HX5s. You can see they're not even on right now. I really don't use them that much. 99% of the time I'm going through cans. These are what I use on sessions in the studio. They're the Sennheiser I have no idea what they are. The ones that everybody uses. Look up the ones that Bukovic or Dan Huff uses. They're those ones. I'll talk about this real quick. For audio, it comes in here, and I have a Helios plug-in to a 1176, and that's all I have on my audio for my vocal. Then when we come into the desk on tracks, I really don't do much on guitars. Sometimes you can see on some of these, actually that's not even turned on. I had an 1176 on there, and it's actually bypassed, it's not on. Sometimes I'll put an LA2A or 1176 on guitars. If they're pretty clean, I will. If they're pretty overdriven, I don't. And then every now and then I'll put a EQ on guitars, but it's really, I have no set thing. It's using your ears and seeing what sounds good. The only plugin I would say that I actually really like a lot, it is I think it's called the Tape Oxide from Universal Audio. Makes everything have that old tape sound. Sounds awesome. Let's look at the settings on my deluxe reverb for a second. So you can see I have volume on 6, and I use the bright channel a lot. Sometimes I use the normal, but a lot of times for country stuff I'm on the bright channel. On this particular amp, 6 is right on the edge of breakup. Treble is on 7. Bass is all the way on 2.5. Usually I am using the spring reverb in my HS effects. This one sounds better, but it's just really inconvenient to use because you have to physically turn the knob, and this is at my foot, so they're close enough that if I'm really getting particular, obviously I love tube reverb, but a lot of times it's just the 63 spring in my HS effects. But one thing I wanted to talk about is on old deluxe reverbs, the mids is in the volume, so you got to get them turned up to have the mids, otherwise they sound way too scooped. They don't sound very good, and way less bass than you think. And on the Marshall, the knobs are black, so they're really hard to see, but the presence is on 8, bass is on 2, sometimes it's off, mids are on 9, treble is on, I think, 9, and I'm jumpering both channels, and both of them are on 7. So you might be thinking that's a lot of treble and no bass. You are correct, but one thing is with both of these amps, especially this one, it sounds like an old Bassman, so it's pretty dark. So if you remember, the old Bassman circuits were designed to be bass amps, so they're pretty dark, so that's why it's pretty high on the treble. Also, if you want to be able to cut through the mix and be heard, turn your bass way off. Like, we're recording guitars, we're not recording bass guitar. Just go ahead and get rid of it. I will talk about my settings on my aux box. I think this is a big thing on getting good tones on using the aux box. A lot of people either love it or they hate it. I've had really good results. So I want to talk about one thing on how I do that. So I'm just running the out, so none of these knobs really apply. So we'll just go ahead and we'll go into what I'm using on my computer. All right, so I have 2 different cabinets that I use. Honestly, I use this one the most. I believe it's supposed to sound like an old deluxe reverb cabinet. There's the cabinet I'm on. I'm using pretty much small wattage amps, so I'm on the 50 watt setting. Speaker breakup is on half. Then I have a Ribbon 160 and a Dynamic 57, and the room mic is completely off, and you can see that it's mostly the 57, and I pretty much turn up the Ribbon to where it's heard, but not like overpowering. So I don't know if that makes sense, but like where it just kind of fills in the mix and makes it sound fuller. But that's pretty much it within the aux. And then the other thing is making sure your levels are good. And then from there, it just runs into the console and And then from there in Pro Tools, that's pretty much it. All right, so one last thing I want to talk about, and then I'll let you go because I've taken up way too much of your time and I need to get back to work. But it's efficiency. So when you look here, you can see I have this pull-out tray. It's actually a keyboard tray, but I have my computer on there. So my computer is right here, easy for me to access. I sit at an angle with my amps right here, my aux box where I can control my speaker sounds are right there, and my pedal board is right here at my feet. And then if I need to change amps, I can just reach back, change a cable. No big deal, super easy to do. I have my monitors right here where I can be working, seeing what's going on my tracking sessions. I usually put my charts on one of those two, where my charts are easy to read to. And then I normally have one or two guitars over here. I'll have like one laying there or here and one in my hand. Then my guitar belt with most of my other guitars is right there about a step and a half away, to where if I need a different one, they're easy to get to. But I'm not having to like move around the room, try to figure out how stuff works. I mean, we're creative people. If we're having to figure out how something works, then a lot of times we lose our creative juices, and that's no good. Also, the more efficient we are, the more projects we can get done, the more people want to hire us because we're quick on turnaround, and it's just better all around. Make sure you set up to where you can be as efficient as you possibly can. And then one last thing is I have a link down below to where if you want to book me, my email is down there for you to book me. I would love to work with you on your next session. To track guitars I can track remotely or in the studio. I would also love to work with you on producing your records. So if that's something you're interested in, please hit that link or share it, because honestly, the more that gets shared, the longer I can keep this going and be able to make more videos for you guys, and this going around for as long as we can. So I highly appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching this, and you take care, and I'll catch you on the next one.